Hey guys, welcome to the Unfiltered conversation today, and we've got someone really exciting with us today. Now, so in this episode, we are going to dig into the experiences, get his unfiltered take on what makes candidates stand out, the funniest and the strangest interviews that he has ever encountered, and the kind of advice that we can only receive from a person with 40 plus years of experience. How do I even introduce him? He's an engineer, a mentor, a managing consultant, a trainer, and also an author. Now, he has conducted over 1,000 interviews in his career that spans over 40 years, and he's seen every kind of candidate, starting from the intelligent ones, the nervous ones, maybe even the downright weird ones. So, I welcome Mr. Anantram Ganapati to this Interview Buddy podcast.
Thank
Hello,
you.
sir.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Thank you. Thank you, Arvind. Pleasure being here.
Nice. And we have a list of questions for you, just to go from your timeline, like from when we were never born to till here. So let's go ahead with that.
Sure.
So you had such a diverse career from chemical engineering to the management consulting.
Yeah.
So how would you describe your journey?
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster. I was a full-fledged chemical engineer in the petrochemical and hydrocarbon industry, project management, production, and so on. And then as life went on, I was enjoying my engineering and industry career. But then there came a time when I couldn't leave Vizag because I had to take care of my mother. And my brother and the other siblings out of Vizag, I had to be in Vizag. And because of a small break in my career, I couldn't get a decent job in Vizag. Though I was offered wonderful jobs outside Vizag, outside the country at that point in time. So I was just wondering what the hell to do. Because it's tough. I had to take care of my family, my children, my wife, and my mother. And then I got back to what I always wanted to be, which might shock you. I always wanted to be a school teacher.
Nice.
I love teaching children, and I used to do that during my engineering days. I used to give tuition in maths, physics, and chemistry to children. But it was not a paying profession. Well, so engineering happened and I was getting paid. But then I said, why not go back to my interest? And at that point in time, it was way back in 1997, 98, where my son was actually having a tough time in school in maths, physics, and chemistry. He was in the 7th standard. So I said, well, why not? I need something to do. My wife had just started her own business. So I said, let me stay back and take care of the children. So I got into teaching school children, my son, a few others, and then suddenly I had 28 kids coming home for tuition. So I was so happy. And then a friend of mine said, hey, I run an MBA college. You're an MBA, you did your MBA while working. Why don't you come and teach? I said, what nonsense are you talking? How can I teach? They said, no, Anantram, please come. And within a few weeks, students were very accepting in their approach. They loved my classes. And one of them actually said, sir, we like your classes because you don't teach us what's in the textbook. I said, I'm making a mistake. They said, no, sir, as an MBA, we need that industry experience. So I was sharing. And of course, training in soft skills, English communication has always been in my blood. So I went into soft skill training, teaching, and so on. And being an MBA, a lot of people came to me to mentor them, their careers, their professions. Even today, some of my students whom I taught, when they are changing their job, they say, sir, could you please tell me if it's a good move? Or they have a problem with their wife or children. They say, sir, I'm having this issue, can you please consult me? And right now, yes, I'm doing a lot of mentoring. I do a bit of consulting. Yes, I've authored an Amazon best-selling book on relationships. Yeah, so the journey has been wonderful. I am a certified life coach, and but I'm a freelancer now. I decided not to work for anybody. I'm the master of my time. I'm the chairman of an NGO, and one thing that has probably not reflected in my profile, which you have, is that I'm a medical clown. We are into palliative care, we dress up as clowns, and we are into cancer awareness and counseling. So, yeah, a whole lot of things. We do a whole lot of things. Me alone, me and my wife. And it's been a great journey. So that is how my journey has been. And I'm looking forward to the next 30, 40 years. I hope to be as active as I am today. Because I'm now at that stage where I need to share my knowledge, my experiences. And I love to coach, teach, train the Gen Z, and they are and fortunately they accept me. When I go for my training sessions, I make sure I talk their language. I keep myself up to date with the jargon that you guys have, and it really helps, yeah.
Sounds like really interesting, and the diversity that you have in your career, right? Starting from this as a faculty to getting into teaching stuff and becoming a coaching staff. Along with that, you've mentioned this interesting thing that you dress up as a clown and go to the cancer thing. That's a really great job that you're doing out there, and you're touching a lot of souls.
Thanks, sir.
Not only technically, but yeah, through heart. Okay, now let's get back to the
interviews. Time for them.
Yeah. Now, you've done like tons and tons of interviews, but there'll be always one special one, the first one. How was your first interview? Do you remember anything about that?
My first formal interview was a wonderful experience, actually. Because I was sitting in the school, as I told you, way back in '98, I got into teaching, and I was sitting in this business school, and then the secretary said, "We need some more faculty members. One guy is coming in. He's a fresh MBA. Could you just interview him?" I said, "Why don't you do it?" No, you have it. So this guy comes in, and he's a fresh MBA. So I took about a half an hour, 40 minutes interview with him, and absolutely impressive, because he had passion. The way he spoke. See, I always look for passion in a teacher who doesn't try to lie. And here was this guy, fresher, but so good in the subject, and yet so communicative and good. And I had him recommended, and the college took him. And guess what he is today? He is the Vice Chancellor of an international university in Nigeria. So he continues to be that humble guy. He continues to be a fabulous teacher in OB and HR, and he continues to be a warm human being. So I can never forget that interview and that day 27 years ago, maybe. So it was a great interview that I had. Yes. So that is an unforgettable interview of mine. There are many others which are also unforgettable, but we'll talk about it.
Yes. So beautiful.
But this first interview was really nice. So I said, hey, it went well.
Beautiful story. Maybe it was his first step towards getting into the faculty, and yeah. So you maybe opened the door for him.
Yes, I surely did. Yes. Because he still comes to me for mentoring, for guidance. He's almost 17, 18 years younger to me, but he's a vice chancellor.
You'll always be his
He's a very close friend too.
Nice. So since you have conducted like thousands of interviews, Do you notice any common patterns in these candidates?
Oh yeah, plenty of them. And invariably, how much ever we say or tell people, there is one thing that I would say 98 or 99 out of 100 can't introduce themselves.
Tell me about yourself.
Tell me about yourself, introduce yourself. I'm telling you, it's a hair-tearing arg moment. I get so frustrated. They can't even start right. Myself. I was.
So what do interviewers normally expect in
And the timing. I expect when I say a 20, 22-year-old guy should be able to talk for 20, 30 seconds.
At least.
No, they can't talk for more than 10 seconds. And they do not know what to talk. And I must tell you, I don't blame them. Because they have never been taught or made to feel good about themselves. You see, unless you feel good about yourself, how can you introduce yourself?
True.
Have your teachers, have your faculty, have your schools, have your +2 education guys told you to feel proud about yourself? Has any teacher encouraged you when you spoke in a class? They said, no, shut up. Don't ask me, don't disturb my class. So you see, you are damaging the very fabric of the character of these people in our education system. And the +2, the intermediate, destroys it totally. You're only taught to mug, and vomit. What are you doing to character? This is something that depresses me. And these guys come, and then when they come into college after the +2, it's gay abandon. They freak out. They enjoy themselves. Colleges take money for improving personality, which they don't.
True.
I'm sure you understand that very clearly.
Yes.
So, introduce yourself is something I spend half an hour on telling a student how to introduce himself or herself and how to create a good structure. But no, that is one thing that invariably, this is one thing that happens. So there is no feel-good factor. Then, talk about subject. Very poor in the basics. See, when you go for a job interview, one pattern is, you must know the basic subject matter. But today everyone wants to depend on, why do I need to know? It's there on Google. Some of my MBA students went for bank interviews and they didn't know the difference between simple interest and compound interest. Unpardonable. They were my best students and they got thrown out by the bank because they didn't know how to calculate interest. Now, that's the only thing that you need in a bank. EMIs, NPA, NPV and interest calculations. And what is the formula for that? So you see, how can you forget? And I don't teach that in an MBA program, right? I teach it in my 8th or 9th class.
Yes.
And I expect a student to know the basics of simple interest, compound interest, or average, or profit and loss, or percentages, ratio and proportion. These are things that most students today do not know. And these are the only things required when you join a corporate job. When you become a manager, somebody is telling you, percentage increase kya hai? Sales mein. Kitna kam hua? How much has it come down? How much has it gone up? Now, if you do not know how to, and now with AI, even AI doesn't even that for you. So where is the grey cell being used? And the third and very, very important thing is the inability to talk about what you put in your own resume. Be it a hobby, be it an objective, be it a qualification, be it a skill. When you have written something, you should be able to justify it. And you are not able to justify that. So these are the three very glaring patterns that I have seen in interviews today, and trying to do my best at every training session to make people work on this.
That's on the basics.
Just the basics.
Fundamentals.
Yeah.
Nice. Going ahead, like I want to ask you, like, did you ever face with a weirdest interview that if you like think about it, you'll still laugh or shake your head like, what happened in this interview? Do you have any experience like that?
You see this gray hair?
Yes.
Yeah. I think quite a few dealt with those experiences. There were some really weird ones. My God. Unbelievable. Highly qualified people who couldn't, faculty members. There was a guy who had a PhD in pharmacy, and he came for a professor's job. And I'm an engineer, MBA, but I because of the management insistence, I was on the panel. So this gentleman walks in, and he gives me this huge volume of his PhD, 350 odd pages it was, and very impressive, beautiful looking document, and some publications of his. I said, wow, nice. And then I said, hey, you seem to have done remarkable work in your 4 or 5 years of your research in pharmacy. Can you tell me something about the title? That's it. Just a dumb smile. I said, please justify your title, Mr. So-and-so. I said, did you do a PhD? Yes, sir. Now, he couldn't progress beyond that. He couldn't justify the title that was there on the cover page of his own thesis work. Then I said, fine, you must have done a wonderful research. It's okay. In your research, you must have come to some conclusion, recommendations. I said, well, tell me, what is the conclusion? He didn't know. He had no idea what research he did. So I opened that page, I went to that page, conclusions and recommendations, and I read it out to him. So this is what you concluded, Mr. So-and-so. Can you please talk about this some drug effect on some rat or some lab animal or something? I did research, sir. I said, I did research. Explain this conclusion, no? What are the drug reactions? Was it better, worse? What happened? This was every step. He just gave me I don't know whether he thought, hey, who's this idiot asking me questions? Anyway, he could answer, and I had this gentleman sitting next to me from the university. So I couldn't misbehave. I normally misbehave with such candidates, but I didn't. I couldn't. Anyway, the interview was over, and I told him, we'll get back to you. And he got up, and then he says, sir, can I expect at least 50,000-60,000 for the job? He's not even answered anything, and he has the gall to ask me about a salary. I said, no, we'll get back to you. Thank you very much. So I've had plenty. The other thing was another guy. There was this guy who came for a physics position, teaching position. 12 years experience in teaching engineering college students, engineering physics. And this guy walks into the room, PhD. He had submitted his PhD. He walked into the room. Perfect. Beautiful formal dress. Excellent English. Very good communication, body language. He stood in, he sat, we exchanged a minute or two of thing. He asked me to give a demo. And he went ahead. He was, using very good board skills, writing formulae, step-by-step derivations. And so, hey, obviously he's an experienced faculty. Great. And me and the other board members, we were very happy because we were finding it difficult to get a physics guy for our college. And then we were not even bothering about what we were writing on the board. We were discussing, saying, it looks like our wait for a good faculty has come to an end. And by chance, I was just looking at the board, was communicating well. And then I saw one of the derivations and I said, hey, there's a mistake here. It didn't look right to me. I said, hey, one sec. Are you sure it's that way? Yes, sir. I've been teaching so many years. I said, I know that, but it doesn't sound right. No, sir, that's how it is in textbook. Now, my knowledge at that point in time was over 30 years old. What I've studied in school and maybe in my engineering days. But probably my knowledge has gone rusty. But yeah, I said anyway. I gave him the benefit of doubt. I said, can you just tell me which textbook? This one, you can refer and I'll get it from my library. You can refer to it. So I said, which textbook do you follow? The usual one, sir. I said, there's nothing usual about textbook. Every faculty has a pet textbook. In engineering, it's a pet author, pet textbook, pet publication. So you must be doing something. He said, no, sir, regular. And he could name the name of the textbook. He could name the author of the textbook. That is when my antenna went up. And, then I started bowling my googlies at him. I said, somewhere down. Then finally I got a word united out of him. I said, United is the publisher. He said, yes, sir. I said, yeah. So who was the author? So again he said United. That is when I was on my peak antenna, maximum frequency, and I said, hey, one second. It's a publisher, right? And I bowled my funny googly. I said, what? Looks like it is that all-in-one, no? The students follow for the exams. Yes, sir, that is the same thing, sir. That is what I'm referring to. So there was this faculty, PhD, 12 years experience, teaching engineering colleges from a guide the students glance through the night before the exam. My BP went through the roof. I simply said, thank you very much. I don't think we need people like you. You may leave. So you see, a great dress, a great communication skill doesn't mean a great person. And tomorrow if I take him into my college, he's going to be teaching students around me. And they are going to curse me. Or they are going to get misled tomorrow. They are also going to become, because students tend to believe faculty members.
True.
So, it was very weird. These were really weird experiences. A lot of others have taken me on a ride, and there's one MBA faculty, for 1.5 hours he's trying to convince me that my knowledge of break-even point was wrong. And I'll just conclude this part of the questioning with a very nice thing that one of my bosses taught me. He said, Anantram, if somebody is trying to fool you or cheat you, and don't seem to understand that, keep feeding them rope. They will hang themselves with it. They will tie the noose and they will hang themselves. Try it whenever you want. This was way back in many, many years ago, late 80s, early 90s, when I had an appraisal interview with my boss. So this is what he told me. And I just kept feeding him rope. And then that interview went on for 1 hour 45 minutes. I had nothing better to do that day as a principal of the college. I made him hang himself and threw him out.
They get trapped themselves.
Yeah, they trapped themselves. I mean, you can't cheat. Don't try to fool an interviewer. I might not be a CA, but I know enough of accountancy and other things that the CA probably doesn't know. So the point I'm trying to make is don't try to cheat the interviewer. You're there for the job, right? Don't try to fool him or her. If you don't know, confidently say, I'm sorry, sir, I don't know.
This is actually quite weird. Like, I didn't expect the names of like the PhD professionals and faculty.
We look up to them.
Exactly. So they are the ones
look up to teachers,
who actually teach us, and we at least expect some straightforwardness or at least genuinity from them.
Yes.
And,
Or at least proper communication, Arvind. I don't want anything else. Tell me properly, talk properly at least. Na? But now when you, that guy, the physics guy who spoke, and you know, I must tell, finally, do you know whom we appointed as a faculty for that? Huh? A fresher B Tech ECE student. His knowledge of physics was outstanding. And he taught my students, who were just probably a year or two junior to him. He was one of the best faculty we had in our college, as long until he got another job and went away.
Great. B.Tech guy,
Yeah.
PhD.
So qualification do not make a good teacher. It is passion and it is understanding of the basics and the ability to vibe in a classroom. That is what makes a good teacher. It is not qualifications. I'm sorry, but no.
It's a bit sad to hear, actually.
Oh, yes.
And we're shocked. Coming to the next part or the next question that I want to ask was, I know that you had multiple bad experiences in your interviews, lots of them. But is there any particular one that impacted you in a positive way?
Okay. Many did, but there was this one instance where, I couldn't help but take that guy for what happened. So, I was in Bhubaneswar and my college, wanted me to recruit a whole lot of staff, marketing staff, admin staff, faculty members, all kinds of people, because I was there. They said, you just have a walk-in interview. I don't know if anybody will come, but just you can sit in your room and just have the walk-in interviews for that day. I said, no problem. So I went. It was supposed to start at 9 o'clock. About 10-15 people were already there. So I said, okay, let's start. By, I think 10 o'clock, the hotel people called me and said, sir, you're creating nuisance. I said, what happened? Sir, corridors are all full. A lot of candidates are waiting. I said, yes, I'm having interviews. I'm sorry, I'll try and organize that. So I was trying to get the resumes and call them and put them in order. It was getting a little chaotic. So as I was interviewing one candidate, one guy walked in. He said, sir, I'm a candidate for the interview. I said, yeah, what about it? No, sir, I think a lot of problems there. Can I help you? I said, what help do you want to give me? He said, sir, I will take care of the people outside. Please continue the interview, sir. I'm also a candidate. I will also come for a position, but I will collect all the resumes and put them in order, and I will keep giving them to you. Now, this guy has no need to do that. And this was at 11 o'clock in the morning. So I said, hey, thanks. Are you sure you want to do it? I will be most happy. No, sir, no problem, sir. I'll do it. And this guy streamlined the entire process. I never got a single call from the hotel that day till the end of my interviews. It just went smoothly. Candidates were coming. Do you know how many interviews I did that day? 323. And do you know who was the person, the 323rd candidate? This particular boy who was helping me. He says, no, sir, I will be the last person you will interview. I don't want you to face any problem. I did 300 interviews that day. Of course, my interviewing styles are very easy. I throw out people within the next first few minutes or first minute or so, because I'm very clear on what I want. And then this boy walks in and says, sir, now it is my interview. Nobody else is waiting. It was midnight. And I interviewed him. He had come for an admin position. What more do I want in an admin guy here?
He should have
Sincerity, solid, perfect attitude, great communication skill, patience, with experience.
And you got the live demonstration over there.
And I had a live demo of him. I said, I don't remember, was his name was Patnaik or Sahu? I don't remember exactly. Such a lovely guy. From day one till when we closed the center, he was there. in one of the campuses in Bhubaneswar, in Orissa. I think he went to Cuttack, I think. And he was one of the best performing admin officers we had. So, I mean, that was a brilliant experience I had. I mean, I've never come across that kind of an approach and attitude from anyone till today. Who was ready to give up his own personal time for me. And it didn't matter if I did not appoint him also, but there's no way I did not want such a person. He would have fitted anywhere. So that was one of the best experiences I've ever had. Amazing, yeah.
And like whenever a candidate that enters into your interview, like is there any one specific trait or quality that will make that candidate stand out from the rest?
Yeah. So when a candidate enters the room, I look at him or her right from the time they walk in till the time they give me their resume. Like some of you know, they come, show my resume. That's bad. That's bad. Some of them give it to me ulta. Some of them, they do all this. They're uncomfortable with themselves.
Body language.
Yeah.
Matters a lot.
Yeah, but I don't blame them. They may be freshers. I don't want to pinpoint. But but some people just walk in confidently. Good afternoon, sir. A nice smile, a warm handshake. I said, if I don't offer them a seat, they say, sir, may I have a seat? I try this sometimes. I don't offer them. I don't ask them to sit down also, just to see whether they want to sit down or not. And some of them just keep standing until I ask them to sit down. Which I say, hey, you don't have to stand for so long. You can always request. I'm just testing you. So, but introduction is very important. That confidence. So, if that first 1 minute or 1.5 minutes makes or breaks a candidate, I have that intuition in me that if that first 1.5 minute goes well, I know that I've got my person. Because see, 70% of selection in a job interview is not your subject. It is your approach, your vibes, your enthusiasm, your attitude, your body language. And that comes out in the first 2 minutes. And that's how I throw out people very fast. Yeah, that's the one thing that I look for, a vibe. See, tomorrow you are going to be my company's face, right? You're going to face my customers, you're going to face my clients, you're going to face my vendors. And I don't want a sad sack who's going to represent my organization.
Yep.
You are the face tomorrow for me and my company, right? Or our company.
So now going ahead.
I hope you're getting the answer that you want.
I got the answer that I wanted actually. So your body language actually, not only body language, because when you are there, you're not only representing your subject to the interviewers, you're representing you as person.
Your brand.
If you cannot represent yourself properly, how will you represent the company that you're going to work in?
Well,
It's like a basic question that what you had pointed out. Now, since you've given me multiple examples of how you took interviews and how your interviews actually or your screening helped multiple people or multiple organizations to find the best candidates. And you pointed a lot of mistakes that the candidates have actually made. Now, I know that there might be few points where the interviewers do mistakes too. So you might have taken some decisions that you might regret. Like, are there any experiences like that?
Almost a neglect was that physics case.
Almost.
Yeah. I mean, we were on the verge of giving him an appointment letter. I mean, if we had cut short that interview, I would have been a lifetime regret. But I must say that I have never regretted anyway.
So,
No, but see, what happens also is, many times, it is not a regret really, but we appointed one gentleman
hmm,
who behaved very well in the interview, was very good knowledgeable in the subject, but turned out to be not a good human being.
okay,
See, these are things we can't judge.
true.
And being in a college, you have to be very careful when you have girls in the college. And somehow that behavior did not augur well. So I mean, yeah, I won't say regret, but yeah, it is a failing of many interviews where we are unable to assess the innate behavior of people.
And with the limited time that you
See,
guys have,
we do it
it's a
for
bit
15
hard.
minutes.
True.
You can't get these things up, and you can always wear a mask.
Hmm.
So as much as you try to, you know, pull off that mask and pull down the facade, some people keep it very strong. They have an iron curtain.
So, like, obviously, sometimes the toughest of the security systems get bypassed. So,
Yeah, it's like your firewalls.
exactly.
They can always be breached.
Everything can be controlled.
Yeah.
These are few secondary things, if I can say that.
Yeah, but
While interviewing, obviously, you have one goal in mind. Obviously, you'll have a checkbox that, okay, knowledgeable, he's presentable, he's having good communication skills, etc., etc. And obviously, you'll also have this in checkbox that, okay, this guy is how well behaved
Yeah.
is he, how good are his intentions, etc. But obviously, you cannot dig deep.
Cannot dig deep.
Because it's not a psychological evaluation that you're doing over there. It's
Yes.
just an interview for a position.
Yeah, but here I would just like to add one more thing that to make a candidate stand out, which I personally look for in experienced candidates. See, freshers it's okay, but when an experienced candidate comes, maybe 8-10 years experience, then there is a different one thing that must stand out is his or her value proposition.
Hmm.
So you'll have to tell me what value you are going to bring to the table.
Hmm.
So a candidate who puts that across in a very confident and passionate manner is something I would like. Now bring out your value proposition. I know I'm going to pay you, but what are you going to give me by way of your experience and what is your value proposition? Which people don't come prepared with, but yes, from their experience, we have to pull it out during an interview. But somebody who says, hey, this is what, whether you appoint me or not, this is the value I'm going to add to your company. I've seen your company, you're having this problem, you're having this thing. I would love to add value to this part of your business.
Hmm.
So that will always stand out for an experienced candidate.
So, true. For what am I paying to you?
And
It's like for what I'm
Yeah,
paying to
yeah.
you, basically.
I mean, you have to justify the money I'm going to pay you, right?
Okay.
There's no free lunch.
True. Obviously. Yeah. So, if you could just give me 3 golden rules for cracking an interview, what would they be?
A bang on introduction. I mean, experience or no experience, the fresher, bring a positive vibe when you introduce yourself and talk about yourself. See, you must talk from the heart.
Hmm.
You must talk with energy. You must talk with a lot of confidence. So that is one sure shot. As I told you, 60 to 70% success is there.
First 1.5.
And this is well researched. This is not some statistic that I have brought out. This is come across wherever you do it, you'll find that body language and confidence and a great intro is what gets you interested.
Hmm.
Gets interesting. The interview gets interesting for the interviewer.
Hmm.
Otherwise, it's going to be a sleepy session.
The boring one.
Yeah. So this is absolutely a good one. The second, of course, is that what you talk must be shown in your body language.
Hmm.
You can't give a dumb look and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do for your company, I'm a great guy, yeah. No. Intensity, passion, voice modulation. You'll have to do that. That is what is going to get you a job. Listening.
Third one.
Very, very important. Many a time candidates drift off, especially the senior guys. And even the juniors, the freshers also don't listen because they are nervous. Their mind is preoccupied. Is there some of them, am I doing well? Are my hands doing the right thing? Am I scratching? Am I looking good? Am I smiling? They are These guys say, I had ego. They won't listen to the question. See, you need to listen, active listening in an interview. And when you actively listen, you will respond right. So that confidence, that passion must come out. See, subject, go prepared with the basics. See, end of the day, nobody is going to go deep into a subject. But overall, and talk about experiences. Like a fresher may, ever so often, a fresher says, sir, but I have no experience, I'm in my 4th year. I said, how old are you? 20?
21.
21? Yeah. You have no experience? You have 21 years experience. You must have been a football captain, a goalkeeper, a fast bowler, a school captain, a vice captain, a house captain, a class monitor. You're a leader, right? Yes, sir. Did you have any experiences? Sir, yes, sir. My family, my friends, a lot of wonderful. That's your experience, man. You must have done something great. You must have rescued somebody from drowning. You must have helped your dad, overcome something. You must have rushed somebody to a hospital. You must have done something, no? Those are the experiences, boss. So, people, the self-esteem is not there. I have done so much. 20 years, you have done something now. You've done wrong things also. But it's okay. Yeah? You would have taken part in a cult fest or a tech fest. And today there's so many opportunities. You would have done a project, you've done an internship. Talk about it, no? That's the experience, no? Yes, sir. Every year I did my internship. I said, that is the experience. Hey, come on, tell me about the internship. So, people are not prepared with these things. Everyone has experiences. It's just that you will have to document it. And remember that when I have an interview, this is what I need to talk about. Because to crack an interview, this is a technique that an interviewee should use. See, when I am talking and giving an interview, and I talk about an internship in a particular area, that means I know more about that area. So I'm pulling your attention away from other difficult areas of my subject into somewhere where I am strong. So hey, you know more about advertising, is it? Hey, that sounds interesting. Can you do something? So he's forgotten all the other parts of marketing. He's going to concentrate on advertising, where I'm strong. So I will keep talking about advertising and enthuse him or her, the interviewer, and it goes well. So I've pulled the interviewer into my web of my area of interest. That is one short way to crack an interview. And that is why your resume must talk. You must change your resume for every job you apply for. And talk about your strength areas more in that resume or in the interview. Pull that interviewer into that web. And that's where it will succeed.
It's actually really beautiful advice that you give, especially the last point. Like most of us, like I have an experience as a fresher. So as a fresher's interview, whenever we enter the cabin to attend the interview, our minds are actually clouded. Like our heart is pacing, and it's like our lives are at stake, and we forget a lot of things. The basic things that you actually mentioned, that the candidate actually has the power to lead the interviewer in one path, but this is something very less talked about. Like this wisdom is not gained by everyone. Like maybe like through you, even I discovered that. Okay, now in my next interview, I'm gonna do this.
Of course.
These are like truly valuable tips. And next, like what I want to ask you is one piece of advice that you think is outdated to the candidates, like a piece of advice that the interviewers have been given to the candidate. You think that it is outdated?
Overrated, outdated, I don't know, but one thing that candidates think is that, I need to be perfect on my subject.
Okay.
And maybe your faculty members, others have told you that, go well prepared on subject. But being prepared on subject, the focus is not so much. I would like to tell all interviewees that, your personality, your communication skills, your body language, your confidence levels, your vibes, your enthu is 70 out of 100. Your subject is 30 and below.
Okay.
Just remember that when you join a job, right, the script, the lyrics, the raga is decided by the organization or your boss. Your job is to dance. And if you have that basic qualification, I will make you dance the way I want you to. But you have to dance well, and that's where, your body language and your communication skills are to the fore. So it's highly overrated that interviewees and others preparing themselves off for a job focus so much on subject that they forget their personality. It's highly overrated. No, we don't like too much of gyan or subject. Because if you're a CA, if you're a doctor, if you're an engineer, you come to the interview room because of that, no?
Yes.
Otherwise you would not even be sitting here. Right? So, when you have a basic qualification, I know your knowledge levels are not going to be so great. But fine. I know that if you've done an engineering or you've done a chartered accountancy or you've done a MBA, I know. Somewhere down the line some memory will trigger. And I will grind you till that fructifies. But don't focus so much, but focus on your basics up to your 10th class. We forget everything that we studied in our 8th, 9th and 10th classes. End of the day, believe me, I have done 7 papers in maths during my engineering. I did not even use 0.001% of it in my job as an engineer. All that I used was plus, minus, into, divide, percentages, profit and loss. If I needed high-tech simulation and modeling, I had people to do it for me. I never used any of my maths, my imaginary numbers, my complex numbers, my Fourier series, my Laplace transforms. I never used. And I don't even remember what they were. I know I passed those exams. So, just make sure that your basics are very strong. And if you're doing coding or you're doing AI or you're doing ML, get the basics of that right. And get the application side right. Don't focus on depth. Unless the job that you're applying for is a highly technical job. No job is so deeply technical. And if they are, yes, you need to be, it could be 50% or 60%, where you go through a subject test.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Now, I think like in your this long career, like you have interviewed thousands and thousands of people, and what do you think is the biggest life lesson that you have learned from them?
Life lesson from them?
Yeah. Based on the interactions, different personalities, different characters. So
So interviewees, no,
Hmm.
they always want to know what they are going to get in terms of salaries, perks, benefits, this, that.
Hmm.
But they are unable to tell me what they are ready to give.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to pay you 50,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakhs a month, I need you to tell me what you are going to give to me.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll give you. Fine. So I've had an interview where somebody wanted double of what I offered. I said, fine. What are you going to give me in return? The organization, tell me. They could spell that out. So, this is where I think you need to be very clear on the value that you are bringing to the organization. And this is one very big lesson that, we learn. Because end of the day, if I am paying you 1 lakh, your value to me must be into 10. Unless you bring 10 lakhs to the table, I will not give you 1 lakh of rupees a month. I want that. I mean, come on, that's how business works. Right? So this is a very big learning that I have had, and I have been asked in certain interviews this particular question. Fine, I will give you, but what are you going to bring to the table? And I had to spell it out. So even as a fresher, I think you need to know your own value. So this is where I ask every interviewee to prepare on your USP, your unique selling proposition, why you should be hired. In what way are you different from the others, from the flock? And to the next stage, when I come across a very nice, smart candidate whom I teach or train, I tell them, especially the marketing guys, they talk about brand management. I said, what is your brand? Have you branded yourself? Arvind. What is brand Arvind? Other than the clothing brand. I might just joke with you, but have you built a brand for yourself? You need to have a brand, no? Like a Surf or a Colgate or a Gillette or a McDonald's. What is brand Arvind? And you could be asked this question in any job. So be ready. And so this is a big lesson too. And I would like to tell people that, brand yourselves. And I mean, your best friend is your worst enemy in an interview. Because there's only one job. So being selfish is not of the virtue of selfishness. Yeah, you have to be. Come on, you want that money, right? You want that career, you want that job.
What is
As much as everyone else.
It's the biggest life lesson that you have learned?
That I have learned?
Yes. These interactions, the thousands of interviews that you have conducted.
Okay.
So what is the biggest life lesson that you have learned from these?
People are very selfish. And rightfully so. You're going for a job. See, you're giving up family. You're giving up so many things to come into a job. It's a big life lesson. So don't think that a job is easy. It's going to be in an AC room. It's a very big lesson that I learned too. Because when I changed the job, I thought it was going to be good. It was very, very tough. But they were very demanding. It was a much smaller company. So my responsibilities were very high. So it is a big learning for me. And people can be good. In fact, when I go for an interview, I find that people are very ill-prepared. So that's one thing. Even like today, for example, you asked me to come. So I've been after people saying, hey, what do I need to talk about? I spent a couple of hours just preparing. I like to go prepared. Why don't people go prepared? I see many people coming for interviews without preparation. I mean, they think the jobs are available on a platter. If they think like that is the first step, they don't know what's going to await them in the organization. The levels of accountability are very, very high. It's perform or perish. You know, Infosys,
Yes.
people are unable to last even a month in Infosys. The so-called toppers in computer science or IT or whatever, they go into Infosys. It's a tough, tough job. One of the IMs told me, he said, sir, I could last for more than a month. I said, did they put pressure on you? They said, no, sir, they don't put pressure. We just feel it. And we crack in such marketing organizations. And we just don't know what to do, we just leave. A guy from an IIM told me that. So, you know, my biggest learning is that jobs are not cushy, and jobs are very difficult to come by unless you have a passion for it. And the biggest learning that I've had is that don't think that you will be successful as an entrepreneur.
Not everyone can be successful.
It is the toughest thing to be today. And if you look at all the startups that are going on, you find that very few see the light of day. Because the ideas are brilliant. See, everyone has wonderful ideas. Because you've thought about it sitting in the comfort of your home. It's good. But seeing that into reality, it's a very, very big gulf between ideation to reality.
So these are a lot of times like working yourself is easy, but making other people work is the hardest part.
Toughest is the human resource is the toughest. Very difficult. Oh my God. People can be so crazy and cranky. And I'm not talking of today. It has always been like that. It has always been like that.
Not everyone's same. So.
Like I always say, you know, there are four things in life that no one knows. When you're going to be born, when you're going to die, who your parents are going to be. Everything else you have a control on. But these three things you have no control on. There is a fourth, which I have experienced. Who's going to be your boss? I mean, he could be the best guy or the biggest jerk you have come across. And I have come across two of the biggest jerks. I mean, I never even expected it. You know? Like there was this guy, as a fresher I was an engineer, and some kind of a misunderstanding. He was a very senior manager in the company at that time. And I told you I'm a very arrogant guy, and if somebody talks nonsense to me, I don't take it. So something happened in the first few months of joining. And he tried to pull me up and tried to, get me reprimanded by the production head. So he marched me up, like they say in the military. He marched him up. So he said, hey, I'm going to take you to the production. I said, hey, I told him, yes sir, let's go. And he thought I would be scared. I said, no, let's go. And we went, and the whole matter was discussed. Something was broken in the plant. And this guy was saying, this guy is not replacing it. That production head just turned and told him, hey, he's a fresher here. You know how to replace it. Why are you troubling this young boy here? That guy was so taken aback. He thought I'll get the hiding of my life. And he hated me from that day for the next 7 years, 7.5 years. I mean, we wouldn't even wish each other. Because he was in a different department altogether. I was not even in this department. And what happened after 7.5 years? He comes into my department as my boss. And I am his assistant. The same guy. I mean, come on. So,
Never would expect that.
no, but I was prepared because I was very sound on my subject. So somebody said, "Hey Anantram, do you know this guy's coming as your boss?" I said, "Yeah, let him come. He can never overtake me on what I know. He's much senior to me. I will respect him, but he can't do what I'm doing." But we became good friends, and we continue to be good friends even till today. He had no choice, and I said, "Why not? I mean, if somebody is good, I don't want to."
Timeline.
Yeah. Time heals, time tells so many stories. Yeah.
So this has been such an insightful and a fun conversation that you have taken us through, and but there are no words like to describe someone's experience when if it is this vast. Obviously, every word that you've spoken has a value to it, and I think the stories that you taught in this podcast, like the viewers or the listeners are going to carry these with them. Now, before we wrap this up, finally, I wanted to have a small rapid fire round with you.
Okay.
Hope you're ready.
Yeah, rapid. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, what's the strangest answer you ever received in an interview?
Oh, yeah. So I was interviewing for the sales position. So I asked, "Hey, are you mobile?" "Sir, is there anyone who doesn't have a mobile these days?"
So you're asking whether he's mobile. Like,
So he has a bike to go on, man. He's coming for a sales job.
interpretation very wrong.
Strange. My
Now,
God.
one interview question you wish more people would ask.
Yeah. What will my growth pattern be? Who is my reporting authority? Right? Who is my boss going to be? How big is my team? Interviewees feel hesitant to ask an interviewer a question. They should ask these questions. When they join an organization, you should know at what level, who your boss is going to be, how big your team is it in the same location, is it transferable? That shows your passion.
Coffee or tea before an interview?
No way.
Nothing?
Your mind, you're already tense, right? And having a cup of coffee or tea before an interview, they want you rushing to the washroom. You don't want that to happen, not during an interview.
This isn't
It is a gut trigger.
No. As an interviewer?
As an interviewer, what? As an interviewer, tea or coffee?
Yes.
Of course. And in fact, you know what I would do? I would offer my interviewee a cup of tea, coffee, samosas. And the moment he or she starts consuming it, I'll start blasting a rapid fire like you're doing to me now. Yeah, so that is how we stress out candidates in interviews. In fact, for senior positions, not junior positions, we don't trouble freshers, but senior positions, we offer them everything that we are eating, and then the moment they start eating, like some people eat like they've never seen food before, and when their mouth is full, that's when we ask questions.
Okay.
To see how you handle it. Do you have the confidence to handle that?
That is a test too.
It is a big test. We do it. And I teach people on this. And when I train, I teach people how to handle that. Yeah.
So if you could interview any one person in the world, who would it be?
Sunny Leone? Have you heard of her? I know that she has a particular reputation, but I understand she's one of the best human beings one can come across.
Yes.
She and Monica Lewinsky, they're fabulous people.
Yes.
And I would love to interview such people.
Yes, they're
my dream. Dream people whom I would love to interview.
One word that describes your interviewing style.
Comfy. I like to make the atmosphere as comfortable as possible. No, I don't like to keep any distance between me and the interviewee. Confident.
Okay. Loved all the answers, and I think this is like a fun way to wrap up this podcast. And Mr. Anantram, thank you so much for being in the unfiltered conversation with us at Interview Buddy. And it's been great. It's been really, really great. Like the wisdom that you have brought to us through this podcast, and the wisdom that you are spreading outside, either through your NGO or through the roles that you're taking up. Like it's been really, really great. And yeah, before we sign off, just an information where you guys can find Mr. Anantram, and maybe how you can have an interview with him if you want to. We'll leave all those links in the description for anyone who wants to connect. Thank you.